Hi, dear learners. This is Teacher Renette, and welcome to my channel where we learn and teach each other. We are now in the second quarter of our lesson in effective communication. How was your performance in the first quarter? Last quarter, we talked about personal and interpersonal contexts, how important it is to understand ourselves before we talk to others. Now, are you ready for the second quarter? This time we'll explore something bigger, the social and cultural contexts of communication. Our learning competency for our lesson is recognize underlying attitudes, assumptions, or perspectives related to social or cultural topics in communication events such as speeches, media, broadcasts, and cultural performances. And to reach that, here are our lesson objectives. First, define assumptions, attitudes, and perspectives. Second, identify how these appear in media and cultural events. And the third is apply them by analyzing examples and reflecting on our own experiences. Before we start, let's check what you already know. A QR code is flashed on your screen, and please scan it to answer a quick 5-item pre-test. How was it? Easy? Don't worry, we'll figure it out later. Now, close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself in these three situations. The first is you are delivering a graduation speech on stage. Second, you're buying drinks at the sari-sari store. Third, you are attending wedding where traditions like ninongs, ninangs, and the money dance are followed. Did you notice the way you speak, the words you choose, and even the way you act are not the same in each situation? That's because communication always happens within a social and cultural context, and these contexts affect how we deliver and interpret messages. Let's define these two contexts clearly. According to sociologist Anthony Giddens, social context encompasses the specific milieu in which social action takes place, including norms, values, social structures that constrain or enable action. To simplify, it is the environment or setting where the social action happens. For example, delivering a graduation speech or versus chatting at a sari-sari store. Second, we are going to define cultural context. According to Clifford, it is a system of inherited conceptions expressed in symbolic forms by means of which people communicate, perpetuate, and develop their knowledge about and attitudes towards life. In other words, they are the shared values, traditions, and beliefs of a group. For example, saying po and opo in Filipino culture to show respect or bowing in Japan. Together, these two contexts influence how people talk, behave, and interpret messages. Let me ask you, have you ever watched a TV show, a TikTok video, or joined a festival and noticed people reacting differently? Some laugh, some criticize, and some just don't get it. Why is that? It's because of assumptions, attitudes, and perspectives. Let's break them down. Assumptions are beliefs we accept before thinking. For example, assuming all teachers are strict or all rich kids are spoiled. Are those always true? Of course not. Attitudes. These are our feelings toward people or groups. For example, Filipinos proudly calling OFWs as heroes. That's a positive attitude. But looking down on classmates with a different accent, that's negative. Third, perspectives. The big lens or worldview we use to interpret life. In Filipino culture, extended families often live together. But in other countries, this might be seen as unusual because people are expected to become independent at an earlier age. Now, can you see? These three assumptions, attitudes, and perspectives are always connected. They shape how we interpret communication. Imagine a classmate who doesn't join the outing. Some assume she is maarte. That's an assumption. Others feel annoyed. She's not friendly. That's an attitude. But maybe her family has a different perspective. They value saving money over outings. So the lesson is before we judge, let's pause and ask, am I only seeing this from my own lens? Or am I trying to understand theirs? Scholars also explain this clearly. James Newlip says, we all wear cultural filters like glasses. These filters create assumptions. If we are not careful, we misinterpret behavior. Be self aware and avoid ethnocentrism, thinking our own way is the only right way. Another experts, these three experts add that our worldview, whether individualistic or collectivist, shapes communication. Our attitudes, whether open or prejudiced, affect how we interpret messages. Darla Deardoff emphasizes that respect and curiosity are the starting points of intercultural communication. She reminds us that to reflect on our assumptions because cultural lenses can distort what we see. We see this in our culture too. In telenovelas, rich characters often speak English, while poor characters use the local dialect. The assumption? English equals intelligence or high class. Or think about when a Filipino joins a foreign dance challenge. Some cheer, wow, we are global. Others complain we are copying too much. Again, different assumptions, different attitudes, different perspectives. So, what can we learn? Assumptions, attitudes, and perspectives are not always bad. They are natural filters we all use. But if we don't recognize them, they can block real understanding. The key is to be aware and ask questions instead of assuming. Keep an open mind and respect perspectives different from ours. Now, let's apply this. Imagine your friend prefers speaking their local dialect in class. What assumptions might you make? What attitudes might you show? And what perspective could explain your friend's choice? Think about it and share with the class. Before we end, please answer the post test by scanning the QR code on your screen. This will check how much you've learned today. And as we close, remember, in every conversation, it's not just words being exchanged. It's also cultures, experiences, and personal filters. So the next time you talk to someone, ask yourself, am I assuming? What's my attitude? What's my perspective am I using? When we reflect on this, we become better communicators not only in class, but in life. Happy learning!